Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the Sleep Makeover Challenge. I am Shelly Tyler, a functional wellness practitioner, bringing you science-based and Bible-based teaching to help you fulfill your purpose here and now on this earth with energy. And in order to have energy, you have to have sleep. So that's why we're starting here. If you missed day 1, go back and watch it in the guide section on my Facebook group or in the reels on Instagram under sleep hygiene, and take a look, give it a listen so that you get a good foundation for everything that we're going to be talking about this week. Today, we're going to dive into how to make habits in general, but specifically how you form habit stacks around your sleep. By building habit consistency with your sleep, you're going to develop a very strong foundation for healthy sleep. You're going to be able to synchronize your body's internal clock. You're going to be able to improve your sleep quality, enhance your sleep efficiency, support your overall body wellness, regulate sleep-related hormones, and all the processes that are affected from that downstream effect. So dive in with me tonight as we explore these aspects of healthy sleep. First, we just have to talk about how to form healthy habits in general in order to form habits around sleep. We live in a world that is full of chaos. Every day is different. Our schedules are overwhelmed with activities for ourselves and for our children. We cannot keep up, and time slips away as we try to get away and turn off our minds and hearts. And we try to do that sometimes by endless scrolling through social media. We try searching for answers, but before we know it, we forgot to go to bed. We forgot to pray. We forgot to exercise. And we say we didn't have time. Ouch. Yeah. The truth and reality is we did have time. We just didn't prioritize our time with the things that truly matter most. We allowed our time to slip away, and then we do it again the next day and the next day. Slowly but surely, what truly starts to slip away is your health. That 1% that we gave to other more distracting, shiny things starts to add up to controlling 50% of our day. Look at your screen time. Look how much screen time you have had. It is astonishing how much screen time we actually get. It slowly starts to make an impact on our health over time. And that's why what you do every day will impact your future self. It will impact who you are in the future. It will impact your future with your grandkids, your future earnings, your future spiritual growth, your marriage in the future, your future weight, your future joy. Everything you do today, all of your habits will add up slowly but surely. And in order to end up on the positive end, you have to actually be intentional to make sure that you're headed in the right directions with everything that you do. You want that 1% to end up in a positive direction. If you can say, I don't have time, I just can't do it, name your barriers. You may be right. You can't. You don't have time. You won't. You will end up the same as you are now and possibly worse. You will end up more hormonal, more stressed out, in more pain. And by the grace of God, I'm speaking to you now because I know that is not what God wants for you, because I've lived it. He has a plan and a purpose for you, which you can only fulfill if you are whole and well and wise. So we're taking the first steps to learn how to break this cycle of unhealthy habits so that you can live out a positive 1% in the direction that you are wanting for the future. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. You're going to be stuck in the same place, and that is not where you want. You'll be no healthier than you are now. You'll be no more joyful than you are now. You won't be more motivated than you are now. You'll be on cruise control. not doing anything, or scared and unable to do anything as your nervous system just goes into that freeze mode. So, the fun part about the power of same, is that if you begin to do positive things in the same manner consistently over time, then you will be healthier, you will be more joyful, you will be braver, you will be more motivated. Your faithfulness in your task day in and day out will produce fruitfulness. In Proverbs 3:3-4, it says, "Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and men." I believe that God is talking about faithfulness in all things. First, faithful to Him, but then also faithful in the things that He has given you choice over here on this earth. So, He says that if you abide in Him, you will see fruit. That's the fruits of the Spirit, that we remain in Him. The fruits of the Spirit are not just fun little things we learn about as kids or characteristics that we try to be, but it's the product of us remaining and abiding in our Father. And they are the life that courses through our veins as a byproduct of being with Him. Those are love and joy and peace and patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. They are characteristics that are neuroscience's proof that God exists. When we experience these things, our brains change, our stress hormones decrease, we experience health symptoms. So the world is broken and our health is not going to be perfect. There's toxins that we're exposed to, our genetics aren't perfect. But if you're in a place of brokenness and you feel like your health and life are out of control, and you're not being faithful and abiding in Him, and then you're not being faithful in the small things that could help you, like sleep, like eating well, exercising, then there is hope that you can still make changes and your life can positively be impacted by the 1% that you choose to do every day. But if you never change, if you never make consistent habits, if you quit, then you will continue to be stuck. So I hope that we can learn today that when you impact how you make habits and you form healthy habits around sleep, then you're actually going to optimize and change your health. One important concept around forming habits around sleep is the concept of habit stacking. That involves linking a new habit to an existing habit. This is a super powerful strategy. If you haven't read the book Atomic Habits, I definitely recommend it if you're struggling in that area. But building new habits, you have to take advantage of the brain's tendency to go on automated routine behaviors. Our brain wants the easy route. It is hard to learn new things. We have to tell it what to do. So in functional wellness, this strategy can be used to create healthy habits that support your health. For example, I will share my morning habit stack that I have built slowly over time. I will wake up, and then I have a notebook that is right by my nightstand. I remember my dreams because oftentimes I will have things that I feel like the Lord reveals to me through my dreams that are of some significance. So I'll write them down. I pray over them. I read the Word. I get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, oil pull, drink some water. I'll do some brain exercises to try to wake up my brain and my body. I'll pray and read scriptures. I'll go outside and take care of the animals. I will do some exercise, eat breakfast. These activities are not just sporadic, they are interconnected with one another in some way. I set myself up for success. I have the notebook right where I see it. When I wake up, my glasses are on top of it. I can't miss it. When I go to the bathroom, I have the oil out for oil pulling to help support a healthy oral microbiome right by my toothbrush. I have the water cup filled and ready so that I can drink it right away. I have a method of prayer and reading scripture in the bathroom. So as I'm doing oil pulling, I'm actually like praying over my kids and praying scripture. So every day, this is the habit that leads to the next habit that leads to the next habit. And when we're talking about improving your sleep, your habit stacking should actually start in the morning. It is super important. Like getting 20 minutes of morning sunshine, or not starting your day off in a rush so you don't overspike your cortisol in the AM and crash too early in the afternoon. And then midday, you can help your sleep by taking a nap or a 10-minute rest to try to boost energy instead of using caffeine when you feel that slump. And then in the evening, your bedtime habit stack starts way before you feel like it should. You have to limit food intake 2 to 3 hours before bed. 2 hours before you want to go to bed, no screens. Blue light is going to disrupt your melatonin production. You need to journal or write down your thoughts. Get out of that ruminating behavior of anxiety and worry. We're going to talk about that in depth later on in the week. We're going to focus on gratitude, which we talked about yesterday. Dim the lighting like an hour before you go to bed. 1 hour before, take a warm shower, because afterwards your body temperature will start to lower in response to the warmth, and that will signal sleep. Read a book, practice deep breathing, whatever those things are that are helpful to you, pick 3 of them. Pick one of them, wherever you have to start. Don't try to do everything at once, but do a couple things consistently. When I say consistently, I mean if you miss one day, fine, but don't miss 2 days in a row. It's going to completely upset your rhythm. Consistency is so important for your sleep because our body operates on rhythms. If you've ever heard of the circadian rhythm, that is because our bodies have a natural rhythm that is regulated by light and dark cycles. Consistent routines help keep these rhythms synchronized so that we have optimal sleep and wake cycles. So winding down and establishing that pre-bed routine like shower and reading signals the bodies it's time to start winding down hormones. We need to lower that cortisol. We need to get our systems ready for sleep. Variable routines actually disrupt this. Also, as we form that habit stack and that routine, the body forms associations between behaviors and the environment and our sleep. So having some context cues at night, like a dark, cool room, a comfortable bed that you use only for sleep and intimacy, supports sleep association. That's why you only sleep in your room. You try not to work in your room. Don't watch TV in your room. Don't have stressful conversations in your room. Make that a place that's like a sanctuary. When you actually do these things consistently and you try to make your sleep wake times more predictable, the body can properly regulate hormones and processes to feel sleepy or alert at the right times of the day. Variable sleep-wake times disrupt those expected changes, which is why some people will get cortisol spikes at the wrong time of day, which can lead to a lot of hormone disruption and a lot of adrenal fatigue. So also know that consistency reduces uncertainty. And we are going to talk about in depth on Friday about uncertainty and what our brain does. But whenever we reduce uncertainty for our brain, anxiety around sleep will decrease. Anxiety around sleep itself interferes with getting good quality rest. Variability keeps one in a state of not knowing. It keeps your brain in a state of not knowing what's next, what to expect. It actually releases hormones that are more in that vigilant state and hypervigilant state of like, okay, what's coming around the corner? What do we need to do? And that's not the state that you want to be in whenever you need to be ready for sleep. You really need sufficient time to build up that sleep drive between nights to support a homeostasis, which is a state of rest and relaxation in your mind and your body. Irregular, shortened sleep builds up a debt that you cannot pay back. You cannot make up your sleep, and it impacts the quality of your health. Now, in order to succeed in this, you have to celebrate small wins. You can't just change all of this at once. It involves celebrating and acknowledging the progress that we make, no matter how small it may seem. And this is so important because it helps us stay motivated and committed to our health and our wellness goals. Verbally celebrating small wins on a daily basis actually changes your brain. It makes your brain happier, and it makes your brain healthier. It is no mistake that it is mentioned numerous times in the Bible for us to give thanks. And giving thanks can look like celebrating. Like, all right, yes, I went to bed 2 nights in a row on time. Praise the Lord. And giving gratitude and celebration of what God has given you the capacity to do is tremendous for your overall health. So you have to celebrate. So we're making some habit stacks. We're celebrating our wins. But you also have to set the stage and make sure the environment is going to support your sleep habits at home. You have to actually make sure your environment, even during the day at work, is supporting your sleep habits at home. For example, I'll give you a non-sleep example. If someone wants to eat healthier, they might start improving their environment by removing junk food from their pantry and stocking up on healthy snacks and ingredients, so it's just not available. They might also create a designated workout space in their home for them to be able to access equipment easier and more regularly. For sleep, you may think about putting up room darkening curtains, or removing your TV from your room, or setting an alarm on your phone to get ready for bed, or set it to bedtime mode a lot earlier than you think you should. In order to succeed with any habit stack, with any new habit, you have to set yourself up for success. Make it easy on your brain. You also have to have motivation. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. You have to feel that why you're doing this is important and worth it. Otherwise, the underlying motivation will be temporary. It won't be true, and it won't stick. Your routine has to become your reward. I want to do the little things that make me healthier and happier because I could feel my memory slipping away whenever I wasn't sleeping well. I could feel the signs of autoimmune dysfunction seeping in, and me not being the best mom that I could be, or me being distracted and not actually being able to hear the voice of the Lord because I'm so busy worrying about how I feel day in and day out. That's not the kind of person that I want to be. That's not the kind of grandmother that I want to be someday. And that is my motivation. I am here to live out the purposes that God has for me. And I want to do that throughout my life, throughout every stage of life, even in menopause. I want to sleep now because I want to have energy when I'm older. And I want to be able to sleep without disruption when I'm older. I'm sorry, ladies, but some of you that are postmenopausal that are struggling to sleep, it's not always normal. Some of it is because of things that have happened in the past and habits that have started to form over time. Some of it is that you need to actually address some of these root causes as well. But if you think about the trajectory of what got you here, it can be little things over time. I fall in love with routine because it helps me reap my reward. Like following Jesus, I fall in love with reading the Word and talking with Him because the reward is growing closer to Him and finding more peace and joy in Him. I'm not just after a blessing. Okay, you're not just after little answered prayers. You're after his heart. And that's the same thing with sleep. You're not just after losing weight. Like, that's a superficial reason. Your deeper reason has to be more emotional than that. Like, yes, maybe you don't like how you look, but you don't want that weight because of how it makes you feel and how it makes you interact with other people and how you can't get up and down off the floor and how that makes you feel like you're not a good enough grandma for your kids, or how you feel like you don't have enough energy to race after people in your backyard, or how you just don't know that you can do anything or don't want to go out with anybody because of how you feel. Like, those are the deeper whys. I encourage you tonight to take out a piece of paper, write down, why are you even in this group? Like, why are you listening to this? Why are you spending time listening to me talking? Why are you spending energy and money to invest in your health? Like, why are you buying those supplements? And when you can answer that question and put it down clearly and keep it visible in front of you, it will help keep you going. It will help keep you motivated. Just know that it's not going to be perfect, okay? Forgetting to do a new habit is a common challenge when building new habits. So here are some strategies that you can use. First is just to set a reminder. Use your phone, use Alexa, use a kitchen timer, whatever it is. Make sure it's a reminder that is set to repeat daily so you don't forget. Get a accountability partner. Preferably when it comes to sleep, your spouse in this case. And if you're not in that season of life, then somebody that you can say, like, hey, I am really struggling with sleep. I think it's impacting my health. I am going to do this, and I'm going to be in bed at this time. So if I text you at this time, or you see an email come through me at this time, call me out. And ask people to check on you regularly to see how you're doing. Ask them to help you. In a marriage situation, I'm going to speak lovingly about this because I think everybody has to work this out. If your husband stays up watching TV in your room and you want to change your habits and not do that, you need to share with him your why, and you need to try to allow him to understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't come to that understanding and that mutual communication, then it's going to cause more conflict around bedtime, which is going to spike your cortisol and do the opposite of what you're wanting it to do. So make sure that you are communicating. It is super, super important. And then also, make sure that you're talking to yourself nice. I definitely feel like there's a lot of shame for people when they know they should do what they need to do and they're not doing it, or they fall off the bandwagon and you start to talk to yourself pretty nasty, like you're just not good enough, you're not doing well enough. Like, I've been there. You need to repeat affirmations to yourself every day to reinforce your commitment to the habit. So, for example, like, I'm committed to my health and wellness because, then insert your why, and I'm doing this new habit, like name your habit, specifically because it is going to help me get there. I'm going to pick it back up today. You have to believe that you can do it. There was a quote by Jim Quick. He is somebody that's really into neuroscience and brain health. But if you fight for your limitations, you will keep them, is a quote by him. And I just think it's so, so true. We don't often think about things like that. So really try to encourage yourself and have people around you that can support you. Your brain is powerful. It's listening to what you say. And so you need to be careful if you're like, I don't have time, I can't do this, it's too expensive, because you actually won't have time, you won't have money, you won't be able to do it. So we could talk a whole another hour about that. But remember that building a new habit takes time and effort. So you have to be patient with yourself and don't be afraid to experiment with different strategies. There's been a lot of things that just didn't work in different seasons of life. And with a little creativity and effort, like you can definitely turn your new habit into a positive, enjoyable part of your daily routine. The final thing, just to circle back around, that I want you to remember is that when you are faithful and you do things consistently, you will bear fruit. You will make progress. But God didn't say when, okay? So that timeline is going to look different for different people. Everyone has a time and a place for everything in every season. But your consistency is so, so important. I know you want to escape your pain. Everybody wants a harvest season, but that just isn't the life that God has called us to. He's called us to a consistent, persevering life. And I believe that God put me through hard seasons of physical health problems so I could learn and grow and be able to bear fruit to share with you. And that was not fun, but without it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So, in this season, ask God what He is teaching you and don't try to escape it, but build positive habits. Your job is not to control your season, your job is to remain faithful, and you will bear much fruit in season when you stay planted, you stay focused, and remain faithful. So, just don't quit, don't give up. Comment below with a habit that you're going to start. Comment below with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? I can't wait to hear from you guys. And tomorrow, we are going to dive in depth to how your gut health is physiologically impacting your sleep. So I can't wait. It's going to be a fantastic week, and I will be talking to you guys again very soon. Have a good night.